Appreciate that. Good to be able to see everybody again. We just finished up our annual banquet. Opportunity to celebrate all the accomplishments this year. I mean, I'm so proud of the players and the coaches, support staff, everybody. Appreciative of the administration, the fan base. I mean, 5 or 6 sellouts, stayed behind us all year. We doubled our win total, 5 ACC victories. I feel like our offense, defense, and special teams were all improved, particularly down the stretch. We've had some really strong, good meetings. I had 30 of them over 4 days. A lot of them related to retention, to NIL, NFL opportunities, a lot of different things. So it's a big week, but super excited about the opportunity for the Military Bowl. Chance to go to Annapolis, our nation's capital. I think we have 40-some thousand Hokie alum in the D.C. metro area. I know they're excited. They have to be thrilled. It's an opportunity for us to get 13, 14, 15 additional practices. We practiced this morning. We had 2 segments of developmental scrimmages live, 30 plays. You remember we signed 50 high school players the last 2 years, so these snaps are invaluable. We're going to continue to do that throughout the bowl prep. But, again, Tulane, excited about that. A really good football program. Coach Fritz had done a tremendous job. Slade Nagel's been with him for the long haul and does a great job. He's going to do an excellent job, I'm sure, filling in. They've been to 4 or 5 bowl games over the last several years. They're experienced. They have a talented quarterback. They have a great defense. We'll have our hands full. It's a good matchup. Questions?
I'm going to ask you about Tulane. How deeply do you know about their roster, having just found out about this matchup?
Yeah, not a ton. I've watched them. I watched a little bit of their game yesterday. They have a talented quarterback. They've put a lot of points up. This year in particular, they're playing very good defense. I think they're nationally ranked. But, as far as their personnel, obviously, we're deep diving into that now.
APR makes the announcement today on social media that he's coming back. How big is that for you guys?
Yeah, APR had a really good year for us. But I also know after conversations with him, we had 3 different meetings this week. There's plenty of room for improvement and to really reach his potential, not just as a pass rusher, but in the run game and all the intangibles and practice habits and all these things are going to allow him to be the player that he can be. A second year invested in this structure and this scheme and chance to master his craft.
I know all guys make individual decisions when it comes to coming back or not. Could a guy like that making that decision up front signal to other guys like, hey, it might be worth coming back to accomplish something more than next
Yeah, everybody does make it. Families are involved, and in some cases agents are involved, and everybody's got a different perspective on it. But they all right now feel the excitement and the momentum behind our program. I think they're the opportunity to move forward together as a team with all these components and the opportunity to take the next step. I think they feel that, they see that, they're excited, they want to be here, but some of them have tough decisions to make.
Especially with APR coming back, especially when you look at rebuilding the defensive tackle room, the importance of having an edge rusher, how important was that to make sure to get him back to have, looks like you have your top 5 in the rotation to come back.
Yeah, the depth at defensive end will be strong, and those guys all improved over the course of the season, APR included. I thought Cole Nelson really finished the season well, was straining and finishing better than he ever has. So, obviously we've got some defensive tackles we're developing in the program. I think that, Josh Fuga is in the midst of making a decision on his future and what he's going to do. But we've got some good young guys that we have committed that have the opportunity, and then obviously we'll look to the transfer portal. We lost 3 good defensive tackles, Pollard and Rio and Phildarius, all really, the 3 of those guys had a really solid year for us, and So it'll be important that we replace the production in there.
We always hear everybody talk about how valuable the bowl practices are. As a coach, how do you go about scheduling it? And how do you go about kind of getting the young guys in while also preparing for a bowl? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, you fragment your practice. You try and get three things done to me. You get competitive periods where you're working good on good so that you're operating at a high level with good speed and, best iron sharpens iron. And then you also want your look squad work, where you're getting a chance to practice against what Tulane's going to do. And then lastly, you want the development of the young guys that still may not play much in the ball game, but they need to improve. It's in a lot of ways it's like a spring ball for them. Gives you a better idea when you finish your bowl prep of where can those guys be for the spring? Where can those guys be? Is he at the right position? Does he have a chance to factor in and help us in the fall? It helps you answer some questions.
What was today like for you, just waiting, and maybe do you have any insight as to why it took so long?
I don't, and to be honest, we had a staff meeting at 9. We had practice at 10:30. We had a recruiting meeting at 2:30. We had a banquet at 4. So there wasn't much time to think about it.
Can you give us a sense of what the next few weeks will look like? Obviously, there's final exams and holidays. Just give us a sense of what the preparations will look like.
Yeah, so we'll get a couple days in and a couple days off, a couple days practicing, finals. We'll give the guys off. We've got some mandatory study halls and things going on. We're going to give them 3 or 4 days to get home and see family before we take off for Annapolis.
With everything you guys did today, did you have a reaction on the committee leaving Florida State out of the playoff?
Yeah, very disappointed. I had Florida State in. Felt very strongly about it. Their body of work over the course of the season, some of their marquee wins. My heart goes out to Coach Norvell and that group because they had a heck of a year and deserve to be in there.
How many more player meetings do you have to finish up?
Yeah, some of them are ongoing. Some of them will happen through FaceTime and Zoom this week. I'll be on the road all week recruiting. But, I just had 3 before I came in here after the banquet. So it's ongoing. These guys, some of them are making decisions to, put their hat in the ring with the NFL. Some of them are considering transferring for more opportunity to get on the field, to get what they want. Some of them, I've got a couple that are trying to decide if they hang the cleats up or do they come back. Some of them, it's not just your scholarship players. There's walk-on members of your team that are trying to make decisions about what to do. Do they remain here? Do they transfer to a lower level and increase their opportunity to play? So just a lot, and I want to be there for these guys. I want to supply as much information as I can to help them make an educated decision that makes sense for them.
Is that just one-on-one deals with you? You bring a position coach in as well? How's that work?
It varies. I've asked them all. They meet with their position coach first to get some of those questions answered. And that way I have more information when they walk in my office so that I can be in the best position to help them.
You previously said Ollie Jennings wouldn't be back during the regular season. Any shot with him in the bowl game?
I don't think so. I'm not going to say never. Ollie's a fierce competitor. And he's got a lot of determination. He's been on the Alter G and doing some things like that. So it's probably too early to say for sure.
Is he one that you make a pitch to come back next year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was one of my meetings this week, yes.
Couple more guys. You mentioned you're going on the road this week. I don't know what your recruiting plan looks like, but having just won that game last weekend, to be able to walk into some of those high schools in the Commonwealth with the cup, with that momentum, what is?
You mean literally with the cup?
I mean, I don't know if you're still drinking coffee out of it, but what does that momentum do? What do you feel like it? I know you haven't experienced it yet, but what do you feel like it might be able to do for this program?
Yeah, I know there was a lot of eyes on that game, and it's very important across the Commonwealth. So I think it kind of put the stamp on the momentum that we were kind of coming, bringing into the end of the season. It's excitement for our guys. They see the team that we can be. Trust in the process, continue to invest and sacrifice, and and let's get great plans, have great practices, great meetings, continue to improve. That's been our methodology all season, that we just got to keep getting better. And that's what's going to be required against Tulane. They're a really good football team.
What's the transfer portal look like for you, for this group over the next couple of weeks, and how you evaluate that for what the positions you need?
Oh my gosh, right now you recruit every position because you don't know what's around the corner. There's always surprises. There's always curveballs that need hit. Our recruiting staff is working full time, vetting guys that have entered the portal, and they got their ears out for guys that are going to enter the portal.
I know there's a lot of guys on the team with military history in their families. Is it just cool to go out there to Annapolis and get to experience that game at Navy Stadium?
Absolutely. This whole game is about the military and showing appreciation. The Military Bowl funds, what's it called? It's Patriot Point, which is a facility for veterans. I think they served over 500 veterans this last year. I mean, it's just, when you read deeper into it, what it means and what they do, it's awesome. So excited. We have a lot of guys on our team that have family members that served in the military or are currently serving in the military. So I think it's a pretty cool deal.
Have you coached a game